April was not a simple victory month for Tesla, but it may have been one of the most important transition months of the year. Tesla made progress in Robotaxi, FSD, Optimus, and Model Y demand. But at the same time, the market became much more demanding, and owners started asking harder questions. So today, I want to break down what April really meant for Tesla from the perspective of long term investors. The key question is no longer, can Tesla create exciting technology? The real question is, can Tesla turn that technology into real profit while keeping customer trust? Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Life in the Future. I'm Ken. Today, we're looking back at the most important Tesla stories from April: Q1 earnings, TSLA stock volatility, FSD progress in Europe, Robotaxi expansion, Optimus production preparation, Model Y's recovery in Europe, and the HW3 owner issue. But this is not just a news recap. I want to focus on what these events actually mean for Tesla's future. In my view, April was a reality check month. Tesla moved forward, but investors, regulators, and even Tesla owners are now judging the company much more strictly. If I had to summarize April in one sentence, it would be this: Tesla made progress, but under heavier pressure. Q1 numbers were not bad. Robotaxi continued moving forward. FSD made progress outside the United States. Optimus started to sound more like a manufacturing story, and Model Y showed signs of recovery in Europe. But Tesla stock was unstable. Investors worried about margins and future investment costs. And the HW3 issue reminded everyone that Tesla's future is not only about new technology, it is also about promises made to existing customers. So April was not a clean win, but it was not a collapse either. It was a transition month. Let's start with Q1 earnings. Tesla reported revenue of around $22.39 billion. Non-GAAP EPS was 41 cents. Gross margin was 21.1%, and free cash flow remained positive. So, on the surface, the numbers were reassuring, but the stock did not simply explode higher. And I think that tells us something important. The market is no longer looking only at this quarter's revenue or EPS. Investors are looking at the cost of the next phase: Robotaxi, FSD, Optimus, AI infrastructure, factory upgrades. All of these could become major opportunities, but they also require serious investment. So the market is basically asking, how expensive will the future be? Tesla's earnings were not the problem. The bigger issue is whether the next chapter of growth will become profitable fast enough. Next, Robotaxi. Tesla said paid Robotaxi miles nearly doubled quarter over quarter, and the word paid matters. This is not just testing, it means Tesla is moving closer to real world usage where money is involved. We also heard more about Austin, Dallas, and Houston, and Robotaxi related supercharger infrastructure became part of the story. To me, this shows that Robotaxi is slowly moving from concept to operation, but investors should stay calm. Robotaxi becoming more real does not mean it will immediately become a major profit engine. The real questions are still open. How many cities? How many vehicles? How high will utilization be? How much revenue per mile? And how fast can regulators allow expansion? So my view is simple. Robotaxi is becoming more serious, but the investment case depends on scale, not headlines. Next is FSD in Europe. The progress around FSD and the Dutch regulator RDW was an important topic. Europe is not an easy market. The rules are strict, and autonomous driving is not just a software issue. It involves driver responsibility, insurance, law, road conditions, and public trust. So if Tesla can make progress in Europe, that could become an important signal for global expansion. But we need to be careful. This does not mean FSD is suddenly available everywhere in Europe. It does not mean full autonomy has been approved across the region. This is not the finish line, but it is an important step. The key point is that Tesla's FSD story is becoming more global. But if we talk about FSD, we also need to talk about HW3 owners. This may be one of the heaviest topics from April. As Tesla moves forward with AI4 and future FSD versions, many HW3 owners are facing uncertainty. For many owners, FSD was something they paid for years ago. They believed in Tesla's long-term vision. They waited. So this is not just a technical upgrade problem. This is about trust. Tesla can improve its hardware over time. That is normal. But the question is, what happens to customers who already paid for the dream? If older owners feel left behind, that could create real frustration. And for investors, this matters too, because customer trust is part of Tesla's brand value. The more exciting the FSD future becomes, the more carefully Tesla needs to handle existing owners. Now let's move to Optimus. In April, Optimus became a more serious part of the investment story. What stood out to me was the language, factory preparation, production lines, Fremont, Texas. These are not just demo video words. These are manufacturing words. That is a very important shift. Optimus is moving from showing the robot to preparing to build the robot. That does not mean big revenue is coming immediately, but for long-term investors, it is a signal worth watching. I would not judge Optimus by hype. I would judge it by factory progress, internal use cases, reliability, cost reduction, and ramp speed. That is where the real story will be. Another important topic was Model Y in Europe. Many people have been asking whether Tesla demand is weakening. And yes, there are real concerns. EV competition is intense, pricing pressure is real, and margins are under the spotlight. But in Europe, Model Y showed a strong recovery and returned to the top of the sales rankings in March. This tells us Tesla demand is not dead. At the right price, with the right product, Model Y can still sell strongly. But investors should not stop at sales numbers. The real question is profitability. Were discounts needed? Can Tesla maintain margins while increasing volume? That is the deeper issue. So Model Y's recovery is positive for demand. But investors need to look at the quality of that demand. Finally, TSLA stock. April was volatile. Earlier in the month, the stock looked weak because of concerns about EV demand, margins, price competition, and analyst sentiment. Later, the tone improved. UBS upgraded Tesla from sell to neutral. FSD Europe progress attracted attention, and Q1 earnings gave the market some relief. But I would be careful about calling this a full comeback. To me, April's stock movement was neither a collapse nor a complete recovery. It was a revaluation month. The market has not given up on Tesla, but it is also not giving Tesla unlimited credit just because the company talks about Robotaxi, FSD, and Optimus. The message from the market was simple: show us execution. So what should long-term investors watch next? I think there are 5 key areas: Robotaxi execution, FSD regulation, HW3 owner support, Optimus production, and margins. Because Tesla's next major re-rating may not come from one dramatic announcement, it may come from repeated evidence that the future business model is becoming real. So to wrap up, April was not simply good or bad for Tesla. Q1 earnings gave investors some relief. Robotaxi became more operational. FSD took another step toward global expansion. Optimus moved closer to production preparation. and Model Y showed that demand can recover, but HW3 concerns, margin pressure, growth costs, and stock volatility remain serious issues. For long-term investors, the key is not to react emotionally to every headline. The real question is whether Tesla can convert innovation into scalable revenue, durable margins, and stronger customer trust. That is the investment story I am watching. Which April Tesla story do you think matters most? Robotaxi, FSD Europe, Optimus, Model Y demand, HW3 owners, or the stock reaction? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please like the video, subscribe to Life in the Future, and join me as we continue tracking Tesla, AI, autonomy, and the future of transportation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home, I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.